Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Explainer. So, every single day, literally trillions of HTTP requests zip across the globe. It's wild to think about. Now, in our previous Explainer, we explored ICMP and learned exactly how network engineers use tools like ping and traceroute to test connectivity, fix communication failures, and just generally monitor network health. But Today we're taking a massive step forward. We are diving right into the very foundations of the web to look at the incredibly important protocols that billions of people use every single day. Because every time you browse an online store, watch a video, or log into a cloud dashboard, your device is relying entirely on this invisible infrastructure. Okay, let's dive right into this. I want you to really think about what actually happens when you type a website, like Wikipedia or Amazon, into your browser. How exactly does your browser communicate with the server? How does that server know what specific page you're asking for? And why in the world does one website use HTTP while another uses HTTPS? Well, that invisible, behind-the-scenes communication is exactly what we're going to decode today.
Here is our roadmap for today. First, the language of the web. Second, how HTTP actually works. Third, the plain text problem. Fourth, HTTPS and web encryption. And finally, we'll wrap up with the modern secure internet.
All right, Section 1, the language of the web, where we establish the baseline protocol. You know, for your browser and a web server to actually understand each other, they absolutely have to have a shared, standardized language. Without rules, communication just completely fails. And that universal language, that's HTTP, which stands for HyperText Transfer Protocol. At its core, HTTP is simply a communication protocol used for transferring web content between your browser and web servers. Its job is actually brilliantly simple. It just allows browsers and servers to exchange web information. Without this universal foundation, the modern websites we use just wouldn't function. It standardizes exactly how your browser asks for a page and exactly how the server responds. Oh, and fun fact here, HTTP is fundamentally what we call a stateless protocol. That means it treats every single request as completely independent. It has zero memory of the past. Actually, that's exactly why engineers later had to invent things like web cookies, just to keep you logged into a website as you click around from page to page. HTTPS, which stands for HyperText Transfer Protocol Secure, works just like using HTTPS, except it uses a secure protocol to build trust between your browser and the servers you're sending requests to. Moving right along to Section 2, how HTTP actually works in the client-server relationship. So, this entire protocol relies on what we call the client-server architecture. To really picture this, just imagine you're sitting at a restaurant. You are the client, right? And you tell the waiter, I want pasta. Well, that is the exact equivalent of your browser sending an HTTP request. The waiter then takes that request to the kitchen. The kitchen, acting as our server here, cooks the food, meaning it's processing your request. And finally, the waiter serves you the food, which is the server sending the HTTP response right back to the client. I love this analogy because it brilliantly grounds the abstract concept of network requests and responses into everyday terms. Your browser requests, the server processes, and the server responds. Simple as that.
Now, when your browser does start talking, it uses very specific methods. And the two absolute most important ones are GET and POST. A GET request is used when you just want to retrieve information. So, for example, simply loading up a website's homepage. You're basically asking the server, hey, give me this web page content. On the flip side, a POST request is used to send brand new information to the server. Think about logging into your LinkedIn profile. You type in your username and password, and the browser uses a POST request to securely transfer that new authentication data over to the server. And when the server replies, it doesn't just hand over the data, it gives you a status code to let you know how things went. That is exactly where that infamous 404 not found or the successful 200 OK comes from. It's just a continuous, highly structured conversation.
All right, Section 3, the plain text problem. Let's look at the critical vulnerability of early HTTP. So here's where the story takes a bit of a scary turn. Early internet communication relied entirely on that standard HTTP we just talked about, but it harbored a massive, frankly critical vulnerability. It transmits all of its data in completely unencrypted plain text. Literally plain text. This means that if an attacker uses a simple packet sniffer to intercept the network traffic traveling between your browser and the server, they can just read it, like an open postcard. I mean, it is the ultimate security risk. To make this danger a bit more real for a second, think about what is actually traveling across that network. Unencrypted plain text means that an attacker intercepting your traffic can easily, and I mean easily, read your passwords, your credit card numbers, banking details, medical records, private business info, the whole shebang. The internet clearly had an enormous security problem on its hands, and a better solution wasn't just a nice to have, it became absolutely necessary to protect users. Which brings us to Section 4, HTTPS and web encryption, the much-needed solution to secure the web. Enter the hero of modern networking, HTTPS. Now, HTTPS performs the exact same job as HTTP, but with one massive, vital difference. The communication becomes encrypted. Encryption takes readable information, like your sensitive password, and transforms it into protected, encoded, totally unreadable data. It gets scrambled into complete cryptographic gibberish using a security layer called TLS. This ensures total confidentiality. So even if an attacker somehow manages to intercept your communication mid-air, they literally can't make any sense of it. When you compare these two protocols directly, you really see a massive architectural shift. HTTP represents the older era, right? No encryption, plain text, and operating on port 80. But HTTPS fundamentally shifts all that traffic over to port 443, giving us this encrypted secure transmission that was built from the ground up for a security-first internet. And you know what? You actually interact with this every single day. Think about that little browser lock symbol you see next to the URL when you're paying for something on PayPal or logging into your bank. That little padlock visually confirms to you that your browser and the server have successfully established a secure, encrypted HTTPS connection. It's your guarantee that your communication confidentiality is fully protected. Finally, let's head into Section 5, the modern secure internet, and look at the infrastructure of today's web. Let's zoom out and see how this all builds into the bigger picture of our modern tech infrastructure. Today, cybersecurity teams universally mandate what they call HTTPS everywhere, because it's not just about standard web browsing anymore. Massive cloud infrastructures, we're talking AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, along with vital SaaS applications like Salesforce, Slack, and Notion, they all depend entirely on this secure pipeline. They are constantly exchanging highly sensitive business data through modern APIs and microservices. Honestly, if HTTPS didn't exist, the whole concept of secure cloud computing would instantly collapse. But before we wrap up today, we definitely need to debunk a few common myths. This is absolutely crucial if you're looking at a career in cloud or cybersecurity engineering. First up, don't fall for the trap of thinking HTTP is faster. Today, modern CPUs handle the encryption overhead of HTTPS so efficiently that the delay is practically microscopic. Second, keep in mind that HTTPS does not protect your entire device from viruses or malware. It only protects the communication channel itself. Third, never ignore API security because, as we said, modern APIs lean heavily on HTTPS. And lastly, never ever think encryption is optional. In today's digital landscape, secure communication is an absolute non-negotiable requirement. So we've seen how HTTP and HTTPS are the foundational languages of the web, and exactly how HTTPS steps up to keep our data safe from prying eyes. But this leaves us with an incredibly provocative question. Exactly how does that underlying cryptographic technology operate? I mean, we know encryption scrambles the data, but how do the browser and the server actually agree on the secret codes to do it in the first place? Well, that leads us perfectly into our next explainer, TLS and SSL Explained. I hope you're excited to discover the actual mechanics of internet cryptography. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in the next explainer.